Natalie Hotson here in the bodybuilding.com kitchen showing you how to make frozen spinach cups. This is a really easy, more of a tip than a recipe. I use this to thicken up my protein shakes, and it's great because when you put it in a protein shake, you really can't even taste it. Now it does turn your protein shakes green, so if you have an issue with the color of your protein shake, then you can add a few blueberries to it and it turns it purple, and then you don't see the green color. Spinach is a dark green leafy vegetable, which is really good. It's high in vitamin A, and it is really high in iron and calcium as well. So for the ingredients we're going to use today, we're going to use spinach, and usually I buy between a 6 to an 8 ounce bag. Different brands have different sizes that they sell, but just one bag of spinach. And then water, and here I have 2 cups of water, and we might not use the full 2 cups. What we're going to do is add the spinach and slowly add the water until it's the consistency that we need. And then you're going to need a blender, and then we're going to use a muffin tin pan as well. And what we're going to do is once we blend everything together, we're going to pour the liquid into the muffin tin pan and then freeze it that way. All right, so this recipe is really simple. All you do is you put your spinach in the blender, and I just take handfuls and put it in. And you're going to start by filling it about almost all the way full. And then my rule of thumb is about ½ a cup of water per 2 handfuls of spinach. So I just kind of pour the water in. There, it looks like we used about 1 cup. So we'll start with that and then slowly add water as we need to. And then you just put the lid on your blender. It's going to be kind of loud. All right, so as you can see, it really blends down quite a bit. And so what I'm going to do is actually add some more spinach. And so we're going to add the rest of our spinach in here. And then we're just going to keep blending it. I don't think I need to add more water, but I'm just going to kind of blend it. If it gets too thick, you basically want it just like a liquid consistency, maybe a little bit thicker, not quite as thick as a milkshake consistency. This looks pretty good. Basically, you just want it ground fine enough so you don't have big chunks of spinach. And then what I do is I take this and I just pour it right into my muffin tin. And I usually fill these pretty much all the way full. Because what I do is, and I'll show you later, is I just use 1 in each of my protein shakes. All right, so it looks like this made about 6. And so we could double this if we wanted and make 12 and freeze all 12. But today I think we're just going to make all 6. I'm going to stick this in the freezer and then just let it freeze for about 3 hours. You can even leave it in there for longer if you aren't home after 3 hours. And then we're going to pop these out and put them in Ziploc baggies to keep them in the freezer to use for our protein shakes later in the week. So I just took these spinach cups out of the freezer. They've been in the freezer for about 3 hours. And as you can tell, they're rock solid. So you can do one of 2 things. You can just let them sit on the counter for a few minutes until they're melted a little bit and you can pop them out. Or what I like to do, it's a little bit faster, is I'm just going to run the bottom of the pan underneath some hot water. That should do the trick. And then what I like to do is just to take a butter knife. And obviously we're not going to use all 6 of these spinach cups in a protein shake at once. And so I just take Ziploc bags and I put usually 3 or 4 of the spinach cups in a Ziploc bag and I put them in the freezer. So that way later when I go to make a protein shake, I can just grab one out. I also use these when I make smoothies, fruit smoothies for my 2-year-old. It's one of the few ways I can get him to eat vegetables. So I'm just going to pop the spinach cup out. That's what it looks like. And I'm just going to go ahead. It's a little bit messy, but you can just rinse your hands when you're done. So I'll probably do 3 in a bag. Sometimes I've tried to fit too many in there and then I can't get it to zip. I'm gonna just put 2 in this bag and we're gonna save 1 to use in a protein shake today. To make the protein shake, I like to use unsweetened almond milk. I like to use the kind with vanilla. Just make sure you get the one that has 35 or 40 calories and read the ingredient list because some of the almond milks do add sugar and you wanna make sure it's the unsweetened kind without any sugar. But if you don't have almond milk, you could also use water or regular milk. I usually use about 8 ounces or so. I just kind of eyeball it. And then I'm going to do 1 scoop of whey protein. You can use these spinach cups with any flavor, any brand. And then instead of ice, I'm going to use my frozen spinach cup. And then what it's going to do is it's going to thicken up the shake and also add some good vitamins, vitamin A, calcium, and iron. And then I'm just going to blend it up. Pretty good. And then I'm just going to pour it into my cup. So it does turn the shake a green color, and if that kind of weirds you out, you can add some blueberries to this and then it turns it purple. And actually my son won't drink them if they're green, but if they add some blueberries and it turns them purple, then he has no clue and he drinks them just fine. So tastes like a protein shake. You can't even taste the spinach at all. So for this tip and for all of my other recipes, check the link below and also continue to visit bodybuilding.com for nutritional information and motivation tips.